So, for participation in college, or even in any school, but especially in college, it's very important. It's very, very important. Um, I know a lot of kids. Remember, going into college, you're a teenager, right? You're very shy. You think people are out to get you, and you know all these shy thoughts. The only way to get rid of it is to participate. No one's out to get you, right? That's just your mentality when you were in high school. Like, oh, people are out to get me. You watch too much TV, and that's not how the real world works. Especially a safe environment like college. No one's out to get you. No one is out to get you. So when people invite you to events and stuff, it's not to embarrass you or anything. Because they know that you're shy. You go there, you might say something really idiotic, and then your friend just, kind of just laughs at you. It's like, hey, at least you came out. But the invite is to get you to go out and embarrass yourself. That's what your friends do in college. They want you to get, they want you to get yourself out of your comfort zone. Where, oh, you have to say the right things at all times. No, just go there, fall on your face, make mis- make yourself look like an idiot. They want you to get used to that, because when you get used to it, you blossom. You become more of a star student, a better student. So when people invite you to parties, to events, because for example, with me in my Pacific experience, I had a friend, Robin Lee. She put on a fashion show at our art department. I was like, I didn't even know you could do that. She was an art history major. I think she was working on her PhD afterwards. And she was an A student, man. And she was just putting out flyers for art department or anyone, especially the art department kids, to participate in her fashion show. So she asked us first, the art department kids, and then I think she put flyers out to the school, but mainly for the art department, because it's mainly for us. It was our thing. It's like Greek life. When you throw parties for you, so she was throwing a party for the art department, and I joined. Right? I'm like, oh yeah, fashion show. I like how I look. Like, yeah, I'm doing it. And she's like, and we had meetings and to go over what's going in it. It's like, oh yeah, there's gonna be like new clothing. You're just gonna be wearing new clothes. You're just gonna walk out there, and the boys are gonna be wearing makeup, right, at the meeting. I'm like, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. Would make myself look like an idiot. I'm down. So all three ideas were genius to me. Right? I loved it. I was like, yeah, I like that idea. New clothes from whoever she can get it from. And I think we went out shopping for clothes too. But mainly it was like I think it was like shoes, and then we went out shopping for clothes just to dress it up. And I was down with all three, and then she put the makeup in. Remember, we're art students. I'm like, heck yeah, push the limits, man. Like, heck yeah. I was like, I'm so down. I I was already down because she was a friend. She was a year under me. I was already down, and then she put on a fashion show for us. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm way down. I was down with her for as a student because she's an A student in art. That's a hard subject, major. And then she's putting on a fashion show. When she put on the makeup on the boys, I'm like, let's go, man. Let's go, man. Like that's how you should be doing it. You should be pushing the limits as art students. You should be pushing the limits as college students, yes, but especially I expect it out of art students, especially. The reason why I say especially is other majors aren't trained to be creative. You're not trained to be creative. So when they say push the limits, these students don't know how. So you're not trained. So I don't expect it out of you. If you happen to push the limits in business major engineering, hey, hats off to you. Like I don't know how you did it without proper training, because that's what art is. It's training you to be creative, to push the limits. I don't know how you did it, but you know what I mean? But I don't expect it out of those majors. I expect it out of an art major, because that's your profession. It's like being a wide receiver. I expect you to catch the ball. It's like being a quarterback. I expect you to know how to play quarterback. So an art major is like, any professional, wide receiver, O line, D line, point guard, power forward, small forward, center. You're a professional at that. So with art majors, I expect it. I expect you to push the limits. I expect you to push. Don't just throw a fashion show, or don't just be a student, throw a fashion show. Don't just be a student, be an A student. Don't just be a student, throw an A student, throw a fashion show. Don't just throw a fashion show, throw some makeup on the boys. So Robin Lee was pushing the limits each time. She's not just a student, she's an A student. She's not just an art history student, she's throwing a fashion show, a party. She's not just throwing a fashion show, a fashion show. She's putting makeup on the boys, making sure they know this isn't just some normal fashion show. This is an art student fashion show. This is my fashion show. She put her stamp of approval on it. It's not just any fashion show. This is an art student fashion show. Not only that, this is my fashion show. That's my signature on that. So when she was raising the level each time, I'm like, let's go, man. That's the type of student I like having around, and that's what admissions officers like having around too. But especially for art students, we love having people like that around. And I know the campus feels the same way with art students. They're like, heck yeah, man, the art students are always pushing the limits. So they love seeing what the art students are doing. So when it comes to participation, don't you gotta stop with, oh, they're out to get me. They're out to get me. Oh, you putting makeup on a boy? You're out to get me. See how shy you are? You're not, it's a safe environment. No one's out to get you. This isn't like some CIA trying to get you. These are just students being students. No one's out to get you. You are under the radar of the CIA. No one's out to get you. Putting makeup on a boy, the CIA does not care about that. That's your issues. You have mental issues. So you need to get past that. So when people invite you, and another story, I had friends invite me to their Indians, like it's like an Indian event. Um, I had an Indian friend, not Native American, Indian, from India. Um, she said show up at this time, and you're just watching. So I would show up. I wouldn't know how to behave. I say, oh, and then I would just go in there. She'd be like, I'll look for my friend. There she was, Shandi, and she's like, oh, Min, like I'll introduce you to my friends. And I don't know if she introduced me. I think she introduced me to a few. And she's like, oh, the food's over there. You just sit and watch. So that's all you do. No one's out to get you. I mean, your friends might try to embarrass you, but it's out of fun. It's out of just get out of your comfort zone. Stop being so shy. Um, Other stories. Yeah, I had Chris Baum invite me to parties. A party. It was like a bonfire party. Um, I had friends invite me over to play Madden. I played Madden with one of my friends. He was a twin. Um, yeah, just events like that. I had friends invite me to a multicultural event. They were talking about like the Vietnam War and things like that, and why were Americans over at the Vietnam War? What was the purpose? And I would go in there, I wouldn't know anyone. You know, I would just go in there and I'll just look for my friend who invited me and like, oh, there she is. I forgot who it was. I know who it was, but I forget her name. But she's in the art department with me. That's where we know each other, and that's how she invited me to it. And she's in Alpha Phi, and I would just go over there and just stand by her, just really awkwardly, just like they're just trying to get you out of your comfort zone because they know how shy you are. They're trying to help you out by inviting you to events. So a lot of teenagers need to stop thinking that people are out to get you. They're not. An invite is an invite. Understand? An invite is already positive. There is no such thing as a bad invite. I don't know where kids are getting this from the movies, or I don't know where they're getting it, but in real life, that's not how it works. Especially in a safe environment like college, an invite is an invite. I don't. I think they watch too many movies. Like an invite is an invite. It's positive. Not having an invite is negative. There's no invite. But an invite is still an invite. Um, it may be worded weird that you don't understand. Like say so I had my he might be a fraternity brother or something, but he was going around knocking on doors in my dorm at Grace Cavell, inviting people to the black and white party. Well, I was thinking like, can you wear anything, right? I didn't understand the language of the invite. The invite was like, no, you gotta wear black and white. You gotta be, it's a formal party. It's not just any party, it's a formal party. You gotta dress up. I wasn't thinking long on it. It's just one of those things like, can I wear anything? 'Cause, it's college, right? They like when you're creative. It's like, no, it's a formal party. So I didn't understand what was on the invite. I just didn't understand it. But it's still an invite. It was my mistake. It was my mistake that I didn't understand the invite. But he went door to door, explaining it though. He stuck around my door like for a minute, man. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, cause I had swimmers next door too. They knew each other, and they were talking about girls, and oh my god, they were going off like, man, he smells like a girl. He was going. They were messing with each other like, you smell like you just had sex or something. I'm like, oh my gosh. But he hung around my door for a good 5 minutes, just trying to get me, just you know, used to the idea of going to this formal party because I might be pretty shy. I might not have any formal clothes. Just go to Walmart, just get some black and white, get some black jeans and white collar shirt, and you're in. You're in. You're good. So he was there for a good 5 minutes, just chatting it up, and his friend, the swimmer, came right next door. I knew the swimmers too because they would come out a lot and talk to me, and cause my roommate knows him. He's a swimmer, Eric Pace. So they knew each other, and then I knew them by just them always coming over, and they would tease me. Like it's one time I was watching The Descent or something. There was like girls screaming, and yeah, I had the laptop like this, and they were on the other side of the door. Girls screaming like, "Oh, are you watching porn?" I'm like, "Come on, man. I'm too cool for that, man. Like, I'm in college. I'm too cool for that." But yeah, they would come over and tease me all the time. So it's a language thing. But at the same time, if it's a confusing invite that people might not understand, you might want to go door to door explaining it. So I think it was the first time they threw a black and white party. So kids weren't used to it. It's like, um, dress formal to a party? To a party? We know parties. Like, we go just like, you know what I mean? Like, when you go to a party, you dress up, you looking good. But to a formal party, they're not used to it. So I'm guessing he's a fraternity brother. And he's used to like homecoming, going to homecoming, and you dress really formal for homecoming. And he's trying to bring that into the campus. See how students are. Robin Lee was throwing a fashion party. These kids are bringing Greek life into into campus life for everyone to be a part of Greek life. So he went door to door to make sure they know it's a formal party and not just any party. So kids don't go in confused, like, oh, I thought that we can wear anything. They embarrass themselves a little too much. So he went door to door to make sure everyone knows, like, oh no, do you have any questions? I think he was like that. It's like, do you have any questions? Like, here's a black and white party invite. Do you have any questions? And I'm like, he stood there for a good 5 minutes just to make sure. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, just think about it, because I guess he didn't have a shirt on. He was just doing invites in his free time, and his swimmer buddies came out like, man, you smell like sex. I'm like, I'm trying to think of questions, and you're like all these going on. I'm like, do I have any questions? Um, yeah, like what do you wear? And I don't know if I asked that, but that I'm guessing that's the question they would have. Like, oh, is it a formal party? Then what do you wear? And it's like, can you wear jeans? I think that was a question. I don't know if I asked them or not, but I think the second time around, I didn't end up going because my friend didn't want to go. I'm like, let's go to Black Pie Party the second year, and he didn't want to go. I'm like, man, you ruined it for me. You ruined it for me. I had the clothes and everything. I was ready to go. I had black jeans, and so my question was, can I wear jeans instead of pants? Because I know with a lot of formal places, I'm an art student. I like to change it up a little bit. So a lot of when they say formal, it has to be all the way formal. It has to be pants. It has to be, a button-up shirt. So my question is, it's black. My jeans are black, but can it be jeans? Just to give an art spin to it. And I think they were okay with that. I think they're like, no, it just. I think he said something about like, no, it just has to be a button up and black pants. It could be jeans. I think he said that. I honestly think he said that because the second year, the second time around, I didn't even ask, and I knew. So I'm guessing he did tell me at the door. It's like, no, 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 just it doesn't have to be pants. It just has to be black and white. I think that's what he says. It has to be a button up. It has. I think he said it has to be a button up. It has to be a button up, but the pants can be whatever. Just it has to be black or white. I think it just has to be black or white. I think he said something like it could be jeans or something. So when it's confusing, you have to go door to door to explain it, or else the students would not know. They just wouldn't know. But so participation is important. Participation is important. But what's more important is explaining. So with Robin Lee, she got all of us together at her place, and she explained what was going to go on. You're gonna wear these shoes. We're gonna go shopping together, and the boys are gonna wear makeup. So it's not a surprise when we get there. So she got us all together and she explained it. Same with the black and white party. He went door to door explaining to everyone. It's a formal party, yes, but you can wear jeans as long as it's black or white, and it has to be a button up. So he went door to door explaining. So 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 I think the invite's important, but you do have to explain, or else the students will be confused as to what to do. So.